What's up, guys? Let's go ahead and start our morning stream. We're starting a little bit late because I had some people working on my roof, but they took a little bit of a break, went out to lunch, I think. So I think we're gonna take the opportunity here to work on our stylized female anatomy character a little bit more. Let me open up real quick just so you can see what I've done here since the first one. So this is where we left off on the last stream, and in between there I've made, let's see, a few tweaks, so I can kind of grab that one there real quick and I guess show you the side view as well. And here is the one after some additional changes. So stylized female kind of proportions that we're going for here. I'm working off of just a couple references, trying to find something I like. I am working on this character for the ZBrush Art War, so I want to kind of spend a long time in these early stages to really build some proportions that I like. So we're going to kind of continue to do that during this stream. And if people pop in, have any questions, anything like that, feel free to shout them out. I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, we'll kind of just continue along with this. Let me get rid of this old one. And we'll refresh that. So I've been adding some additional geometry in here, playing around with cleaning up forms, adding additional forms, kind of just blocking out some muscles on the back, which I like to do. Just kind of helps me visualize, I think, larger forms a little bit better. So some ideas, some things I've been thinking about doing next up for this gal. I would like to merge some stuff together, so merge the arms all into one piece and merge the legs all into one piece. So to kind of prepare for that, I've been making some changes to some of the geometry, so some of the connection points are a little bit more clean, so that when I work on that, it's gonna be a little bit nicer once I combine those pieces. And my Cintiq keeps slipping here, so see if I can fix that. Alright. So I'm just going to kind of continue to clean this up. And let me pop open my reference over on my side. Or references. But let's see here. So this is kind of one of them that I'm using right now to get an idea of proportions. This is an early concept, but you can see here that let me move my model, kind of set up some white lines for where I want some key points to kind of hit there, and then I've also done some measurements to figure out exactly how tall this character is in perspective, and it's like 5.5 heads tall. So I'm fine with that for the time being. But yeah, looking at some of these points here, so trying to hit this top of the rib cage line, roughly around there, bottom of the rib cage, where the crotch will reach at the bottom, and kind of where these parts need to connect, and just finding some different areas. I kind of want to play with raising up my hips, which I've already done, more so raising up the shape of the leg from the side view. I want to get this flow to be a little bit more clean. This line here. So I think that's just a thing that I'm going to have to kind of play with. But it sounds like the roofers might have actually just came back. So the reason I wasn't streaming earlier this morning, for those that are following me on Twitter, normally I stream a little bit earlier. The dogs are like going crazy right now, so I think the roofers are back. But I had people working on my roof, and it was extremely loud. There was like one point where it was such a loud bang that getting a phone call. It was such a loud bang that it like shook the dishes in my kitchen. Kind of like that. I don't know if you guys just heard that. But yeah, it sounds like they're back, so maybe poor timing, but we'll try to deal with the noise for the time being, as it'll probably pick up here in a little bit. So I apologize for that, but yeah, I'm just kind of here to continue working on this character. So later tonight during the night stream, it won't be nearly as loud. So that'll be definitely a better opportunity for us to stream. But still good to kind of take some time now, hang out, and get a few things done. Trying to work on that line again a little bit better. Clean up some of the transitions here, and there we go. There's some roof banging. Sounds like one dude got back early or something. Overachiever. Yo, Robert, what's going on, man? So combining some parts, playing with that, playing with these proportional values a little bit better. Looking at the feet right now, it's hard when stuff can be in perspective for size. Some other stuff there. Trying to pull that, let's pull that up a little bit, so transpose that and see if we can make some changes there. Pull that line up. I'm just gonna grab all of that. Like I said, it's gonna be pretty loud here for a while, so I apologize for that, nothing I can really do. And we'll undo all that, make sure the symmetry's on. Trying to find this curve. The curve of the hips there. Oh no. So loud. What do you plan to make? A character for the Art War competition. This is a character I've been talking about. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it for a while now. But a character I've been wanting to work on for the light versus dark Art War that's going on right now. So something kind of in the vein of Little Red Riding Hood, a character that's kind of cutesy, but maybe a little bit more dangerous and unassuming. So more dangerous than the character appears. Like some inspiration for the characters like Rory Mercury from one anime, or like Ruby Rose from Ruby, which I'm sure a lot of people are more familiar with. But yeah, kind of playing around with those ideas now, and really playing around with finding some clean proportions to work with, while dealing with some people banging around on my roof. But yeah, we'll see how long they go here. Like I said, only one dude came back, so it's probably even gonna get louder. If it gets too crazy, I'll just bounce on out of here. Trying to kind of pinch in there a little bit more, bring that shape up. I think I've kind of overdone that a little bit, so I want to kind of pull this out. It's called the ZBrush Art War. Second time that they're doing it. Ooh. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, just Google Art War. I'm sure you'll find it. But yeah, we're gonna be working on this character for that, at least for the time being, and see how some of this goes. We're liking the direction a lot. We'll continue with it, and so far so good. I just wanna get those proportions a little bit closer. Get me out of T-pose here. Now again, I want to start combining some of that geometry for the arms and legs, but I really want to make sure that that's nice and clean, and that my shape language is kind of on point there for what I'm trying to make. So really not trying to rush anything right now. Looking at the body right now. Oh no. He's like right above me. Looking at the body, trying to get an idea here of some different stuff with our shape language. Let me grab some images of some stuff that I can reference back with. Ren, are you currently working in the video game industry? No. I don't work on video games anymore. I had a nice stylized anatomy figure that I really liked, that I kind of wanted to reference a little bit. Maybe some stuff from Rhett Mason. I don't know if you guys follow him, but he's the dude that he creates some really cool stylized female anatomy stuff, and he's got some great stuff. Seeing if I can find any of those. Got too many images, guys. Too many references. But yeah, Ren, welcome to the stream, man. Glad to have you with us. I do a lot of stuff for toys, collectibles, and that sort of thing. A decent reference from Daniel Rodriguez. He's the dude that did the witch character from Daniel Ekron's course. You can check out some of his work. So Daniel Rodriguez, really check out him. He's got some cool stuff. The legs are a little bit too thick for where we're aiming, but for some of this stuff, it might be pretty helpful. Again, sorry for the noise up top. Can't really do anything about it right now. Alright, well, I'll look up some stuff later. But we'll continue to work on some of the major form changes right now. And work on correcting some of those. So, looking at our torso here, we can kind of, I've already combined, let's see, I've already combined this geometry so we can kind of dynamesh that together and work on transitioning that a little bit more smoothly. Same thing with the legs and going into the feet, we can work on transitioning those a little bit better. Our arms, I think, are a lot closer, but I want to still kind of continue working on where those two larger muscles of the forearm kind of pinch around the bicep. So we'll look at that as well. And then going up into the neck. So we want to focus on these transitional points right now, and then continue going from there. Your rooster sculpt is still one of my favorites out there. Thank you, man. Song HX is the concept artist. I was trying to remember his name. I don't know how to pronounce HX, but if you guys Google Song, S-O-N-G space HX, rooster, you'll find the concept artist for that work. He's a cool dude. Got some really great stuff. But thank you. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. So yeah, transitional points, guys. Not easy. I'm gonna start by going right here. These are still split, which is very helpful for us. Kind of just sounds like he's stomping on right over top of me. Sounds like a good time. They work fast though. I was watching them out there. They go crazy. So they're pulling up all the tiles on my roof right now, and going pretty cray, as you can tell. So to start kind of really blending these together, I'm gonna do, let's see, duplicate. Hidden. So I'm going to keep this as a separate piece, just so after I kind of merge these together, I can kind of jump back and forth here. I'm just going to dynamesh those together. Pretty low there. My dynamesh resolution is pretty high though, just because of how small these are. And turn that off. Yeah, we're going to work on this area. This, not so much, because I really want to actually emphasize the pinch there, and combining geometry like the way that I just did is a pretty bad way to do that. As you can see, just a quick smooth gets rid of that. So if I turn that back on, we'll be able to get that back in there. So it's not a huge worry. strap that comes down from your connection right there, called your iliotibial band. Wraps a little tighter. Honestly, what we're just looking for is to kind of clean this up. I'm not looking to define any leg muscles by any means. We want to kind of stick right between that primary secondary form area of the process. Especially when you're working with stylized stuff, that's really where things shine, where it's the most important. And we can do a quick mirror and weld to get an idea of what that's beginning to look like. So seeing that form kind of wrap back up through there. Try to get a little bit more form in here. Looking a little too flat. I do want a little bit of that S curve in there still though, so I want to try to retain that at the same time. So trying to add volume in here where it matters. And again up through here. Let's turn this back on. You'll see what I was talking about for that not mattering. Now just kind of smoothing a little bit of that out so that the transition isn't quite as tough there. But then these two right there, they blend in a lot better, and really just the material change there is the only way you can tell. And once I combine those, it'll be even better. So I think we're pretty good there. Let's kind of knock down this form even just a little bit more up through here, just so we can get that blend a bit better. Get that like rolled over kind of fat look. Gotta be careful with your clay brushes when you're doing stuff like this. It's really easy to kind of go a little overboard. If you're having trouble, I think, getting those nice clean shapes, just lower your Z intensity and lower your poly count. I think you'll be a lot better off. To mess with that shape a bit more. Trying to get that a little bit better. And then up through here. exaggerating this a little bit now, I think helps down the road. And honestly, that should be more forward. We can move it though once we reconstruct subdivs. Mysterious early morning stream. That's right, dude. Welcome back. We are working back on our stylized female anatomy sculpt that we started last night, if you guys were around for that. If not, and you want to see how I started on this, just kind of started with some spheres and pushing and pulling shapes around until we got here. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing that early process, you can check that out on my YouTube channel. It's just the last stream that was up. Stylized Female Anatomy, Part 1. So I'm using transparency with ghost turned on. You have to use ghost mode if you want to be able to sculpt through other geometry, which is a little bit confusing just visually when you're using it. Gets on my nerves a little bit. Let's see what that's starting to look like there. Just do a quick mirror and weld. And we'll knock down that shape just a little bit, just so they're not merging together when we do that operation. Back here though, it doesn't matter. All that's hidden and up in the body, I'm not worried about that. And that doesn't matter either. All this will be cleaned up. But yeah, it looks like some new people are popping in here, so again, I have people working up on my roof right now, so a little noisy. Apologize for that. Was in the kitchen eating. Hopefully eating something yummy. Might need that actually. We'll hold on to it. So yeah, now we have some nice subdivs on this, and we can kind of clean it up a little bit. Flame Striker popping in. What's up? What's going on, gang? Hope everybody's doing good. Need to start holding some attendance records. Start doing a roll call. Especially when people are working on my roof. That's a good time to be shown up to a stream. It's a good time to be streaming. I started it because they just left, but then one dude came back, and now he's like up there with a sledgehammer just going crazy. blend that a little bit better. Honestly, just blend all that a bit better. Why is the head so huge? Yeah, right now we're following some proportions that I got here, but we might be messing with stuff later. Kind of resizing that. How do you, Flamestriker asks, how do you get the Raphael? It's Raphael Grassati. Not Raziel, Raphael Grassati muscle model for learning anatomy in ZBrush. It comes with his course. Just go to Gumroad and type in Raphael Grassati. Or Raphael Grassati on Gumroad, if I could type one spell. Yeah, you get it from this course, it's in there. There should be a tool section in the lightbox, right? What you're referring to is the Ryan Kingsline anatomy model. That's by a different person. Raphael Grassati is the dude who has the really nice male écorché model. And be aware that, you know, I think anatomy model wouldn't be an accurate term. I think distinguishing between anatomy and musculature are two different things. People often think, oh, anatomy, it's all the muscles, where all those muscles go. There's a lot more that adds to the form of the body, though. So just kind of, I recommend trying to get away from that thinking, because then you end up with overly muscled male characters and sometimes female characters as well. But just kind of trying to avoid that way of thinking. Do a quick mirror and weld to see if those are touching. They're not now, so I'm kind of happier with that. I'm just going to do a Subtool Master Mirror. So you can see here, I still have part of the butt attached to this, but I want to use this geometry just because it's getting a little bit of a better lip there in the connection point, and it also allows me to come through and do stuff like this and kind of inflate some of these areas to kind of bump up that connection and then adjust that, which we will do. So to kind of illustrate a little bit of a better way that I would go about doing that, something like this. Some kind of little mask, softening of the mask, and then like a tuck in, and that's gonna turn the surface. It's gonna give it a nice, nice edge there. Yes, Raphael. Something about the tools section, yeah. Yeah, you had the right idea. Wrong, right idea, wrong model. No worries. So with that, now I can kind of unmask, kind of start smoothing that out, and you'll see that we get a nice lip right around there. And kind of build that form up even more if we want to. It's all about finding these clean shapes, clean and appealing. once it's in a place where we feel more comfortable with that shape. Let's knock this down. So unfortunately these roofers are going to be here for the next 2 or 3 days, so I'm not sure. I guess it just kind of depends how fast they go, but at least in my experience it seems like construction typically takes longer than it should. So we'll see. Hopefully not too crazy. Trying to get the form to change a little bit here. Tuck in more. And there it is again without that after we've made those changes. But we can use this and then mirror that back across. And there we go. And if you want to look at it from the side view, we can just turn off our arm junk here and probably mess with getting a little bit of a stair stepping here. We'll play with that in a little bit though. We've kind of made that connection a lot more clean there, so that's a good progress for me. Is that? No, that is not. Turn our arms back on. Ah, you know, I forgot to grab my hand model that I wanted to get. Square, what's up, man? Working back on our stylized female anatomy model. If you guys were around for last night's stream, we started on this. Ah, and the HUD boys here too, the whole crew. What's up, guys? Those are some strong legs. Yes, you must be able to kick very, very hard. We're going for the Chun-Li legs. Let's see, where do we want to focus our attention next? We're kind of making some good progress here with the leggings. So let's keep going down. Go down to this next leg here. So again, doing these one at a time, one side at a time, and then just mirroring over the changes so that we don't get any weird problems with our connection points going across the x-axis. Let's try to get a little bit of a better flow here. Really maybe attempt to emphasize that curve a little bit better. Rohit, what up, man? Welcome to the stream. The whole crew's here this morning. Got everybody. Ping only person we're missing. That's oh, we're only missing a couple people. A couple of the regus, as we like to call them. Really trying to look at the silhouette right now. I actually think that there's a muscle here. Okay, so let's do this. So for you guys kind of looking at this, if you're looking at this and you're like, well, how is this exactly oriented? Which knee is this? This is a person's right knee. The way I know that just by looking at this is just by the name vastus medialis of your quadricep. Medialis means middle. So if you're ever trying to figure stuff out, medialis, middle, lateralis, or I'm sorry, lateral, obviously outside. And then posterior, back, you know, you sit on your posterior, and anterior, front. So just kind of looking at some of this. There's the, I think this is the iliotibial band or the TFL or something. I can't remember the name of it. It's that band that I was talking about earlier. The lateral meniscus, biscuit meniscus. Just trying to think about how I wanna connect these two forms here a little bit better. Let's see here. You guys saw each other on Facebook for Sculpt January. That's awesome. Glad that there's a bunch of people playing ZBrush. What's up, HUD boy? What's up, Robert, Rohit, everybody? Working on your Sculpt January stuff. That's pretty cool. Glad to see a lot of people taking off with that. If I was the one that told you about that, well then yay, that's awesome. I think it's really cool to see people participating in that and kind of just building what I consider a pretty good habit if you want to get better at sculpting for 2018. I'm trying to make this really tight initially so that I can come through and soften that here in a little bit. Looking a bit flat. Try to round some of this out. Having terrible problems getting this thing to play normally. Oh no. Started this challenge because of me. Started seeing this everywhere and then I saw it too. This gave me the push. Awesome, man. That's really cool. You won! You've got it playing live again. Yay! That's a win in my book. Oh god. This roofing is gonna make for some very interesting streaming in the coming couple days. I'm just gonna be sitting here, and a dude is just gonna like straight up fall through my roof and land right here in my office. It's gonna be great. Trying to get a little bit more form to blend these shapes better up through here. It's all about, well, sometimes it's about copying other people and seeing what you like for some stylizations, but kind of experimenting right now and trying to find something that I like here with this connection. I don't know, I've seen a lot of different variations on stuff for the knee connection point for stylization between the upper and lower leg. I don't know, trying to find something good though. Sometimes it's just better to copy other people. It's definitely faster. Subdivide this guy. Also, we gotta get some ankles in here. Start figuring out where we want those to be. Work on the connection point between the foot. Oh gosh. Usually see stuff in the recommendations. See stuff that pops up everywhere, you have to watch it, otherwise it will haunt me forever. So I started doing 3D and sculpting and ZBrush and stuff. You made an awesome scarecrow. I don't think I would assume you're talking about someone else. Because I have no idea what scarecrow. Trying to thicken this up with my move back face mask. This looks really thin. Yeah, everybody get connected up on ArtStation for sure. And the ZBrush Discord as well. More of a place where people can talk. We'll just keep turning the music up until we can't hear the hammering. The music's gonna have to get pretty loud. This flow. Jesus. This flow down here. that like kinks down really sharp there. I want to try to get that better. So I think what I'm going to do, let's do this. Duplicate that piece, and then we'll just merge it down here. And Dynamesh, and use that kind of as a proxy piece to kind of blend some of this together. That should be wrapping around the knee a little bit better, so really there's no harm in smoothing this transition out. Please don't fall through my roof. The prisoner's trying to escape again. You think they know I'm streaming? No, I don't think so. They're, I was watching them work earlier. They're just like super fast, and they're just like up there like bringing up all the shingles as quick as possible. Pretty sure there's like one dude up there right now. I haven't heard anybody come back from lunch yet. Anybody else come back from lunch yet? But yes, I must go check on my prisoner very quickly. Yes. So working on the transition a little bit more here. Trying to carry some of these forms into the lower leg. Are you awake down there? Hello? So I think that's helped a lot, kind of help that transition there a lot more. I can add in a knee and stuff on top of this, but getting this cleaned up is really helping. I think I might do this more in the future this way. Kind of try to bring that line up a little bit, and then we can soften it. Should get people to work on my roof more often. I think it'd be so much fun. No, this is normal, it's fine. I'm like getting everything replaced on my roof. All the things. Alright, so let's remesh. It's just that he's right above my head right now. Let's remesh this and help to kind of blend these shapes a little bit more up through here. Really get a nice flow. Sure the keep groups isn't on for that. This one is patient, yeah. Are you thoroughly disturbed? Ooh, Like I said, we'll just keep turning up our music louder. Little Roro fight the power. Get rid of some excess stuff that we don't want to look at yet. I'm gonna probably completely redo that knee structure. Oh, his friend. He's got a friend with him up there now. I hear two different people. That's alright. Like I said, we'll just keep turning the music up and wait for them to drop in through the ceiling and say hello. I wonder if that's ever happened. Wouldn't be really saying hello, it'd be more of like, let's go to the hospital. More so that than anything, I think. So starting to soften up that shape of the leg. I think I want to turn, so I masked this off because I'm thinking I want to turn this shape earlier. And look at this line as well, it's not very clean. A nice curve going on here, I think, but in terms of depth, I think I'm gonna need to make things a little bit bigger. So just looking from the front, from our widest point, 0.2 units, 1.5 to 2 units, 1.5. So maybe up around here towards the top, bring out the front of the leg. It's really where it's bothering me the most. Maybe a little bit back here to kind of round that out. We do have some good S-curves going on, we're just not exactly where we want to be. Going in the right direction now. They've multiplied. Being the adult swim dog, this is fine. Yeah, this music's pretty dope. Using that pretzel.app.rocks, I believe. I don't know if it's royalty free, but it is copyright free. So the creators might get some like chunk of ad revenue or something from having their music on there. Who knows? Alright, so let's look at some actual legs. Let's look at some legs, guys. Let's do that. Stylized female leg. Try this. Gosh, I can't remember Mercurial Forge's name off the top of my head. Just talk to him. Oliver Barraza. Oliver's got some cool stuff. This one, I like this model a lot that he did. There's a side view, so looking at that leg, we might be able to do something like that. Not a huge fan of these, but I think they're good reference for... I'm not a huge fan of the forms used here, but I'm a big fan of the sculpture work. It's great. Yeah, I guess we can look at Oliver's stuff a little bit. I kind of just want a side view here, so I can kind of think about maybe where I want to turn that surface a little bit more. Ours is, you know, really coming out here. I think that's fine, but now we want to play with this a little bit more. Let's just kind of tweak some stuff. So trying to get that notch a little bit better there, and then blend down through here. Not actually too opposed to getting a little bit of a different curve going on there. Kind of makes it look like deer legs or antelope legs though. I went home back to Indiana for one day, and I almost hit 5 deer just then. When I used to live there, I used to like almost hit deer every single day. They used to sleep in my front yard. They used to sleep in my driveway, actually. They would sleep in my driveway and my front yard. But yeah, there'd be tons of them. Now I just kind of hate deer. They actually had to get rid of them. There were so many around there. Start not hunting them, but culling them and then removing them. Right. But yes, we want to avoid the deer legs. See, I could put on some headphones, and that would make it easier for me to not hear the roof noise. But then I wouldn't, I wouldn't be a part of it with you guys. I wouldn't be, enjoying all the junk going on up there as well. I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. Nice sharp turn there. Again, I want to thicken out the front of the leg. It's a little bit weird without the knee there. Right there. That's a little strange for us, looking at this. Just kind of trying to do our best without that in position. And I think we can maybe start adding our knee on here. I want to actually go back up and turn my upper leg on. Or you know what? I might actually just keep that. I really didn't make that many changes. I might just actually use this piece. The only thing that I need to tweak is really up around this area, so that the form can kind of curve up into that other geometry that we have. Making sure that I do a good job of that. Trying to get that back in there real quick. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with the way that some of this is turning out. Up through here. Maybe just a little bit more volume going up. Try to use my move brush a little bit on there. Just lower the poly count. Try again. Try to get something really clean. And for our knee, so I don't know if you guys saw this little poopy garbage geometry. I'm just gonna delete it. I had this in there. I want to create more of like a diamond shaped knee. So I think, let's just transition this piece, initialize it, and we'll try to make it a little bit more accurate that way. So let's bevel this edge, I guess. And I'm gonna turn on Y symmetry. Why do I do that, you ask? So I can do this. Get that diamond knee. And let's actually get rid of this edge loop. Get rid of unnecessary geometry. So I actually do want one here. Then I want to bevel that. So a little bit of a little boxy knee shape there. If we want, we can crease some edges from here to just get the shape more accurate. Try to get something that we like here. Kinda want to try to bring in all of these. Make that a bit more narrow. This is all just for the shape of our knee. So I'm gonna taper in our back edge. So we can kind of slot that on top of our mesh. And let's do that now. So get a little bit of some rotation here. Move that back and in. And we'll try to play with this. And scale that down. Might have to kind of manually just tweak some of this with our move brush. Just to make that flow a bit better. Let me grab this leg and mirror it over to the other side. Or you know what? I'll just mirror. So going to change this song. So I'm gonna change this song here. Whoops, wrong one. That was not chill music, actually. In fact. So yeah, I'm gonna try to blend this into my leg as best as I can here. No more hammering on the roof right now. Yo, Justin, what's going on, dude? Glad to have you with us. Working on... Oh no! We're working on crashing! That was a bad crash. Because that one didn't save. That one didn't save our things. It might have crashed because it quick saved? Shit. Yeah, we're good. So I must have like clicked right as it quick saved or something to make it do that. But we're good. Got everything we need. There wasn't a new recovered file, so I was a little scared. Yeah. Well, I clicked on it on ZBrush and it just crashed. Normally that doesn't happen unless it's like in the middle of saving or doing something. So I figured it quick saved, or it was quick saving. I wasn't looking at my screen though while I was doing that. So yeah, kind of playing with the style and shape of the knee here now. Trying to figure out how we can maybe switch this up. I might keep this really boxy shape going, like this. And the thing that you can do, if you guys don't know, you can turn off the smooth modifier when you divide. Divide on up a few times. Smooth that out and it'll keep its boxy shape. I can keep that really boxy shape of the knee there and then modify it in other ways. just by smoothing out some of these forms. And start to get, you know, keep that basic primary shape, but really start to blend those edges. So it's doing a pretty good job of keeping that basic shape we had there. And this modifier, excuse me, these little types of modifiers are interdependent for your subtool. So if I toggle that off for one, it's not going to toggle it off for everything else. But yeah, we can always step all the way back down if we want to make changes at that lowest division and work that way. A little bit more tweaking to our major leg forms here. Readjust some of my brushes. What do you recommend, Wacom Intuos Pro or Wacom Intuos 3D? I think the Wacom Intuos, I think the Pros are the better tablets. The Wacom Intuos 3D, I've never used an Intuos 3D, but I think it just comes with ZBrush Core. So I guess if you don't have ZBrush or you want ZBrush Core, get that option. Honestly, I don't know though. Off the top of my head. Like I said, I've never used an Intuos 3D. But the Intuos Pros are great. I highly recommend those. I'm trying to really bring this form down into here. You can see how its highest point is up there, up top. It's like these are kind of even, this inside notch and that outside notch. If I can find a decent reference. Oh no, I could just... We'll do this. So yeah, looking at the knee there, if the camera will focus there, that inner quadriceps head is quite a bit lower on that knee there. That's what we're kind of trying to achieve next. So there's this little bit of a slant there that we want to achieve. gonna kind of do this a little bit more rough at first. I think our roofer friends took a break for a little bit, so that's always good. Yeah, just kind of really yoinking that out really hard. That's a technical term, by the way. To yoink. So yeah, pull that out really hard, and then adjust and push it back as I go. Oh snap! Thank you for reminding me there. Sorry. Leg changes. Continuing on those. So I was just, let me undo here, so you can see what I did. So really yoinked that shape out as I said. Adjusted that, blended that, pulled the lower leg over, and continuing to adjust that transition. Thank you, Maria, and welcome to the stream. From here, just making our lower legs a little bit smaller overall. Put us in a good position. one thing that the red wax material is actually good for. Seeing where your form is pretty dirty. And I wanted to get a little bit of a cleaner line there. So I think now with the changes that we made here to this piece, by subducting that and then smoothing it out, helped us really get this kind of tucking in right there. And I'm much happier with our leg now. Let's throw some ankles on this. We're gonna kind of do it the same way we did our knee. Trying to smooth out this form. I pulled this up to help turn the surface, and it's just kind of too strong right now. But I think with the light, let me try, or here. You can still kind of see where that line is up through there. So that's what I was kind of trying to capture. You can see the highlight there. See how it follows that line. See how the shadow begins there. So that's what we're kind of looking for in terms of shape language. And I think we've captured that fairly well. Might mess with the overall gesture of this, as it's kind of, you know, it's exaggerated. So it might be a little too much pigeon leg going on. For the time being, I'm happy with it. So the ankles and the feet. Let's mirror this across our axis. Using Subtool Master just so that the geometry doesn't combine. Up top there, want to avoid that. And we want our subdivs. I'm gonna hold off on doing the knee here for a sec. I'm actually gonna hold off on mirroring that across because I'm going to need to be able to get inside on this inner portion of the leg and make changes there. I'm also gonna delete one of these feet. Which I haven't given much attention since we started. Neither have I done so to the hands. The hands are still really simple and a little bit small as well. I was gonna import some stylized hands to work on. Or at least some fingers. I have a nice finger brush somewhere that I'll show you guys in a little bit. But yeah, same basic strategy for our ankle. From our knee, I'm actually just going to duplicate and reuse that geometry. Love you, Cap. I don't know who Cap is. And I don't know why you love them. Sounds like a very personal love, though. Helion boy. Missed opportunity for helium. Or you know what, that can just be your nickname. You can just be Helium Dark. So again, the the language that we're looking for in terms of overall kind of shape here. So with our calf, high positions, the position sticking out the most, higher on the left, lower on, or on the lateral side, lower on the medial. It's the exact opposite for the ankles. It's going to be higher on the medial side. So that's what we're going to try to do now. And just kind of push these in. And we can modify that since we're kind of reusing our knee shape. I think pulling these closer together would be a good idea. Whoop! Caused some problems for us in the back. Just a quick smooth. I'm not too worried about it. The geometry being dirty or anything. It's easy for me to clean up. So going to attempt to terminate the shape a little bit quicker on the lower portion, just so it looks like it's got a, you know, it's the end of the bone there. And probably move this down and make it a little bit larger. And let's grab the other one. So just duplicate. We will just do a rotation. And figure out where we want to place this. A cap from a headgear. Good news. Oh, my cap. You love my cap. My beanie. My hat. Yes. Also known as a cap. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I like it a lot too. I've had it for a long time. Yes, the helium dark floating away off into space. Is too light. Lighter than air. Okay, so funny story. My contacts are bothering me right now and reminded me of this. I was putting in my contacts this morning. And the guy who's doing my roof comes and knocks on my door right as I'm putting my contacts in. And I have one contact in the other eye, in one eye, and I don't have the other one in the other eye yet. So I'm like rushing to put it in, and I do that, and I run to my front door, and it looks like I'm crying because I just put my contact lenses in, so my eyes are watering. So I'm like rubbing my eyes, I'm like, yeah, just go work on the roof, it's great, it'll be fine, just go do that. And he just kind of looks at me really weird. I'm like, oh, those couldn't have been better timing. Because I knew they were out there, they were like setting up, and I was like, ah, crap, I'm just gonna go put my contacts in real quick. And as soon as I go do that, they're like, hey, come answer your door. I'm like, oh, crap. So we haven't done too much work here on our foot. We've kind of just let it sit. We'll be working on blending that transition from our foot to our leg, getting our ankles in there and everything else. where is our upper leg? So this piece, this was our upper leg before we blended it with our lower. I think at this point we can just kind of delete this. I got some other excess geometry in here, so just to make sure if we do want to roll back and grab that, I can. So save that subtool out and then get to work blending this. And now I'm just kind of looking to Dynamesh these together and begin blending. I'm gonna make some strong cuts here, kind of mark some form change that I want to happen. And pinch that in. Let's cut in more. Make a big mark. And then get a pinch in on the surface there so that the form changes. To use a reference for this sculpt, yeah, I'm using a lot of different reference. As you saw, we're looking at doing some stylization by looking at some real anatomy. So figuring out, using that for stuff like where we want our knee to be positioned, stuff like this. I'm just kind of using some of my own anatomy knowledge and experience from past work to kind of guide this. But I'm also, I don't have the image up anymore. I was using an image to kind of get an overall proportions check for like height and heads, number of heads and all that. But we'll be messing with all that later, some more as well. I'm just kind of trying to define these transitional pieces a little bit more. So what I mean by transitional pieces, I'm talking about, so at the beginning of this stream, if I can import that real quick. This might be it, yeah. So this was where we started. This is where we are right now, so you guys can see all the changes that have taken place. So I've kind of adjusted some proportions in the legs and arms and chest, neck, head, all that. But yeah, so now what we're trying to do is go into these transitional places, like in our arms, our deltoids, our chest, our legs, our knees, our ankles, and we're starting to blend those areas together and work on building up those forms to make it more clean and more appealing. I think we're being successful, but yeah, it takes time. And lots of reference, lots of different stuff. But I have one major thing that I'm using for, like I said, scale in major proportions. And I really want the proportions of this character to be in a place that I'm happy with before I move forward with other stuff. So I want to kind of take my time there for sure and try not to rush things, as that can be rushed way too easily. This is really ugly over here. Lower my res a little bit, hoping that makes this a little bit easier to work with. So getting an idea of where we want these ankles to be, I'm kind of blocking out some of the form change in the leg, narrowing back here to your Achilles tendon, all that jazz. I'm just gonna leave that rounded for now and stopped working. Just kind of measuring my head, hands, and feet real quick. Just get an idea of the size of each of those. Hand total length should be roughly the size of your head. Height of your head, I should say. You ever had that little prank pulled on you in school when you were a kid, where someone was like, if your hand's bigger than your face, you have a disease, or something to that extent? Anything they can say to get you to put your hand up against your face, and then they smack you, smack your hand as you do that, and you look real dumb, and then you go do it to all your other friends, and the chain continues. You had that too? Incredible. Yeah, a lot of those things just transcend borders, like being mean to each other when you were kids. that kind of just transcends borders. It's funny. You will get cancer? Oh man, that's terrible. But it's also funny. Because I know I've definitely done it to some kids. When I was a kid, you know, not now that I'm a big adult, big grown adult boy. When I was a little boy though, for sure. So some tweaking here to the forms around the foot and the ankle, kind of blending that. Definitely getting closer here. Want to pay special attention to, you know, this area as I try to blend that. Get a better height, I think, here. I don't know. Looking at my reference, it's a little tough to say. I wouldn't mind, you know, raising that edge up a little bit more. For the most part, it seems fairly flat, though. Maybe if I just kind of trim it down and help to bevel that edge out a little bit better. Just using my trim dynamic. Trim away. Trim me on my way. Trim away. Little pinch, soften, and sure. I'm into it. Alright. Now our actual ankles. For these, we can merge those together. Let's get kind of a little bit of a bigger view here outside. Lower those. And let's just do a deformation inflate. That should be fine for kind of increasing our size here for these. So I'll just do an inflate by a few units. And Dynamesh to begin seeing what that looks like. Stupidity is universal. Yeah, pretty much. Definitely me. I definitely got some to go around. Every day, you know. You gotta find new ways to screw up every day. That's my tactic. Eventually, there's just not gonna be any more ways to screw up. So we got a pretty good shape here. There's a few areas being non-cooperative. I think this is a little high on the inside there. Just kind of lowering that. I don't think it needs to be quite that strong of an angle. But yeah, I think we're gonna duplicate and merge that here, just like that. Dynamesh that in. And start working on that transition. And you can see how strong that is. It might not have been quite as noticeable before, but once you start kind of blending that in, you're like, wow, that's sticking out real far there. So let's work on that. So really trying to soften that quite a bit. blend that. I'm gonna start to pull this shape in and up the leg. Get our surface to turn there a little bit easier. Isn't this noise or lack thereof of hammering and such so nice? It's great. It's good stuff. There's always new ways to screw up, like forgetting to save for the millionth time. That's a good one. Or just, you know, having your software crash on you isn't too fun. I have a video on adjusting your quick save settings and how you explaining some of the options in here. I use the restoration really doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. The one you want to really worry about is the maximum duration. Restoration is how often or how quickly it will quick save after you stop making any actions inside of ZBrush. So if I don't touch ZBrush for 20 minutes, it'll quick save after I stop doing anything. But it will always hit this counter first, which is while I'm working every 20 minutes, do a quick save. The default is 15 minutes, but I just throw it on 20 and it seems to be just as fine. It's a pretty good balance between quick save not bothering you too often, but also, you know, saving your work when some crappy stuff happens, and then you don't lose too much with 20 minutes. That's not that big of a deal. So from here, I think I'm gonna Z-remesh this lower leg and start blending some of these shapes a little bit better. Let me look at doing that. I'm trying to think if I want to, yeah, let's do this. Let's just merge these back down one more time. Very gentle, smooth. And then we get the knobs, I guess is what we'll call them. Plus we also get some of that transitional information that I got in there. So let's remesh that. Whoops. So you remesh at 1K. Go to the next song here. Remesh finish, so project that up. Listen to some dogs bark outside. Alright, so I think got that still, so that's good. So now it's just a matter of kind of blending these two pieces of geometry together. It's going to be a little bit challenging for us to figure out which one's going to dominate the other. The lower one has a little bit more form on it, so I'm going to try to get this to fit inside of here a little bit better. But more towards the top. I've kept that a lot more clean, so coming up towards here, I'm going to try to keep most of that. So we'll start blending our mask down from there. So you can see that's where we start to get the transition to happen, and that's exactly where we're looking to get that. So that worked out pretty well. And then of course we got our subdivs, so kind of working on knocking some of this back a little as it's a little strong. Yeah. Something close to that. Uh-oh. Roof boys are back. I think I'm about to bounce off of here soon. Anyway, gotta get to the gym and get some lunch as well. So we won't go too much longer here. Turn on the perspective there. Oftentimes when people are doing, you know, stylized female characters, they'll put them up on their tiptoes. My character is not going to be on her tiptoes, so I'm just going to keep a flat foot and look at that maybe a little bit later. But I think we've got a lot better transition point there. A lot more happy with that. We can actually merge those together and do a remesh as well, just so that we have all of that in one tool. But for the time being, it's not really it's not like hindering us, so I think we'll keep that the way it is. But yeah, we're at about the 2-hour mark now, so I think that's going to be a good place for us to cut for today, or at least for this morning. Let me save this. We'll definitely be back on for tonight for our night stream. Night stream! Woo! So this was our morning stream, playing with our stylized female anatomy character a little bit more. Character I'm going to be working on for Art War. Let's see. Tonight for the live stream. I don't know if we'll still be messing with this. We might switch things up, do some anatomy study, some realistic stuff, if that sounds like something you guys are interested in. We've been doing a couple of those. But yeah, we can kind of continue to do this or switch gears. I'm fine either way. But I'm having fun working on this for the time being. And if I adjust this knee just a little bit, just to get that in a little bit of a better place. But yeah, there'll be a few things that we play with here as we go. But yeah, I think we've definitely made a lot of progress on our legs and the forms here, as well as our arms a little bit. We didn't mess too much with those, mainly stayed around this area, fixing some of this as well. So we'll be doing more of that coming up. And let's do this, just so we can see what our main form is looking like, so I can get an idea of that. I'm going to keep that split though, because I don't want to mirror all of that across. But yeah, alright guys, well, I will see you all in the stream tonight, hopefully. Come say hi, even if it's just for a little bit. Be good. Yeah, you be good too. And I'll see y'all then. Thanks again for stopping in. You guys have a great day. Later.